and the Marillac Mission Fund. I also want to mention that this presentation is being recorded. So I just wanted to let everyone know that. So if you don't want, your picture showing, you might want to turn your camera off or whatever you want to do. But I just want to mention that this is being recorded. And today I'm really excited. We have with us Donna Webb. She's a licensed dietitian and a registered dietitian with Bright Sky Nutrition. She's also a diabetes educator. And so I'm gonna stop my share and so that Donna can go ahead and get ready to put her screen up. And I'm really, really excited about her being with us on today and just really looking forward to it. So we're gonna talk about keeping our eyes healthy and what we can do with nutrition. So Donna, you can go ahead now.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I think I've seen you before. I love seeing you. Can you hear me okay? Oh, Bridgette, I can't. Can you hear me better now? Can you hear me okay? No? Oh boy. Okay. All right. On my end, it doesn't look like I'm muted.
I got you.
Okay.
You're fine.
All right, girl. We're good. Okay. All right. Okay. So I was just saying that I just love being with you guys. I love seeing all the people coming into the room, and this is one of my favorite groups to talk to. So you guys always have great questions. I think that's what I love meeting with you about. So I'm going to give most of the presentation today, but I do have a student with me here from and she's going to help me present just a little bit too, so you don't have to listen to me the whole time. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. And I love this topic, you guys. I think it's so important, and I'm almost never asked to present on this topic, so we're really excited. This will be one of the first times we do. So let me get into presentation mode. There we go. All right. Littler. Okay, we're ready now. Okay, so we want to start off, what I wanted to start off with, and of course I always give you my information that I'm in Springfield, but I can see people all over Missouri, and we can always do a telehealth visit if you want to do a nutrition visit. Bridgette has the information. You can reach out to me at Donna at brightskynutrition.com, and we can get you set up. And a lot of times insurances are covering nutrition services now, so we're pretty excited about that. But what I wanted to start off with is, I want to start off with this slide, and it's kind of a busy, well, let me start off here. Kind of a busy slide, but I just want to start by saying that when we talk about eye health, okay, we're going to start with just the tiniest little eye cell. So you know that all of the organs, everything in our body is made up by these tiny cells that function and produce all kinds of different things. And I want to say one more thing about the cell. We might have talked about this before, but every cell in our body has little power energy factories in every single cell. And those are called mitochondria. And you don't have to remember that word. Just know that every cell in our body has energy factories. And every cell has thousands of these energy factories, okay? And so when you think about a nuclear energy factory, think about it requires a good, strong structure around that power factory. And there's all these bursts of energy inside that factory. That is what these mitochondria are in every one of our cells. And what would happen is if that structure around it became damaged, that power, those bursts of energy would cause damage all over the surrounding cell, the surrounding cells around that cell. And so we have to maintain a strong structure of those factories, those energy factories. And that's where nutrition comes in, okay? And so the reason I wanted to mention that now is because we have found that damage to those mitochondria is actually what creates all of the effects of aging. Okay, so all the different things that we see as we age are all caused by damage in those little energy factories. And that's why nutrition becomes so important. If we have damage in those energy factories, we have all these, aging is kind of ramped up. Aging is kind of sped up and all the effects of aging. So that's where nutrition comes in really important. And so I just kind of love this slide because I don't know if you guys can see my mouse or not, but these are all the different things that happen when we age. So, and these are all the things that are affected by damage to those power factories that I was telling you about. And so just our hair turning gray, that starts to mean that our mitochondria is starting to not work and not function as well as it used to. And I want to show you here that we've got visual acuity decreases. So our eyes, as we can't see as well, that's because of damage to these mitochondria in our cells. And we also go down to cataracts. And so all of the eye health issues and effects that we have that we think about are because of aging. They're really because of just started to decrease and damage to the function of these mitochondria, okay? And so that's why I just want to tell you, we all age. We can't slow down aging, but we can't stop aging, but we can definitely slow down the effects of aging through good nutrition and through eating the right things. So I just want to, again, put a plug in that the foods that you choose, so you do have some choices in how quickly your body ages. So I'm just encouraging you in that there's some great information, there's some great things that you can do. So I just wanted to start there. And then I'm going to hand it over now to my student who's Becca, and she's going to talk about a little bit about the anatomy of the eye and what starts to happen when we get macular degeneration. So I'm going to hand it over to her. Make sure they can hear you okay.
Can everyone hear me? Okay. Okay, so it's important that we kind of discuss what our eye looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and turn your attention to the healthy eye, which is the eye on the right. And so the front of the eye, which has the lens, the pupil, the cornea, and the iris, that's not what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on the macula. And so the macula is part of the retina, which is part of the back of the eye. And so it's located kind of in the center.
Hey, Donna, just real quick, it's like you're cutting in and out a little bit, it sounds like, from the volume.
Okay. Okay, scoot in a little closer. Okay, so
there you are. That's perfect.
Better? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then let me kind of just recap what I just said. So the front of the eye contains the iris, cornea, the pupil, and the lens. But the back of the eye is what we're going to focus on, which contains the macula. And so this is in the center of our retina. And the job of the macula is to provide sharp and central vision. It's important for just our daily living, seeing fine detail. And so when we see a damaged macula, things that can happen are that tasks like reading, just seeing what's in front of you, driving, seeing fine details and things like that, that can become difficult. And so like Donna kind of mentioned, what's responsible for a damaged macula could be free radicals. And so nutrition will kind of help decrease those free radicals.
So before we go further and into talking about macular degeneration, we want to ask Bridgette to share a little bit of her story because she's experienced this in the last few years.
Yeah, I sure can. Thanks, Donna. So I noticed, I am 54 now. I noticed about two and a half years ago, I noticed I was having issues with my vision. Now, I've always had issues with my vision for as long as I can remember, but it started to, when I looked through my left eye, it was darkened. The center part was darkened. So what it looked like I could, for example, if I was looking at a person's face, I could see the outline of their head, but I couldn't see in the center. So it was like there was a block. So I was looking like that, like I couldn't see this middle, but I could see the outside part of a person. And, you know, I was just like, well, what's going on? So I went to see my regular eye doctor, and she said, what you've got is you've got some bleeding in your retina. And so they referred me to a retinal specialist who diagnosed me with macular degeneration. So degeneration of that macula, that's what they said that I had. And so the treatment for that is I had to receive monthly eye injections. So I got injections in my eye for a month, every month for about 2 years. And so I would go in, they would give me an eye screening, they would give me the injection, and then I would come back the following month. They checked my vision. I did scans to see how the bleeding was. And so I did that for about 2 years. And so that's what that's what I found was going on. And now I go back, I only have to go back once a year. I had an excellent retinal specialist. And so that spot is no longer there. So now when I look at a person, I see their entire face. So, but then I just have to kind of, I have to watch, my vision. And sometimes I'll just check to make sure I don't see anything. And sometimes I do have floaters. So I do have like little squiggly lines sometimes that go back and forth. But that's not very bad. I mean, I'm kind of getting used to that. It's not very noticeable, but I do have those. So those are some of the issues that I have had. So that's why I was really wanting to know more about this today. So.
Yeah, thank you, Bridgette, for sharing that. That's really interesting. That's awesome. And so glad that there is a treatment for it. That's great too. So very good. Okay, so Becca's going to continue a little bit here.
Okay. All right. So this picture kind of sounds like something that Bridgette was experiencing with just having that blockage right there in the center of your vision. But that is what the damaged retina, or I'm sorry, the damaged macula. So that's what that's going to look like with macular degeneration. So what it is, I kind of already touched on this. It's a small area of the retina that's responsible for your central vision. And so there's actually 2 types of it. The most common is the dry type. And so this is when it's caused by a thinning of the macula, and it's a gradual decline in our sight over years. And so that's something that we can try and prevent with nutrition. It's going to be the most relevant compared to the wet form. This is more of damage to blood vessels growing under the macula, which can lead to fluid and other blood, leading to that distorted vision. And so some of these symptoms would include blurriness, dark spots, distortion of our central vision. Okay, quiz time. I'm just kidding. So true or false? Age-related macular degeneration is the first cause of blindness in Western countries, according to the World Health Organization.
I say
Anybody?
true.
False.
False. It's actually true.
Wow.
So, yeah, first cause blindness in Western countries. Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like, Bridgette, you probably had the one that was the wet kind that was caused by those blood vessels being damaged, right? That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although you had 4 eyes for a long time too. But okay, so what I want to talk about now is kind of a tricky topic. So we're going to go slow on this one, but a lot of the times with these eye these over years kind of eye changes that we have, where we have decrease in development of that macular degeneration, it's all caused by something called free radicals, okay? Or and so I'm going to get a little bit more into that. But what I want to talk about is So the free radicals, they actually increase with age, and we have some natural defense mechanisms against those, but we also require some really great nutrition. And so when I say a free radical, so let's kind of think about this, kind of getting sciencey with you guys today. Hope you had your good breakfast. But what a free radical is it's an unstable oxygen molecule. Okay, so all the different chemical reactions that happen in our body, they just naturally create these unstable free radicals. If you think about back to like a chemistry class, remember electrons and atoms and those kinds of things, atoms all want to be latched on, holding on to something, and that stabilizes them. And so oxygen, when it's unstable, it's looking to attach to something. And so a lot of times, if it doesn't have something healthy to attach to, it actually attaches to other cells and other molecules and damages those cells. So that's when we get damaged cells that can create chronic disease. When we think about having kidney disease or eye disease or something like that, it doesn't just happen at just a couple of cells get damaged. It's when a couple gets damaged and then more get damaged and more, and then all of a sudden you have an entire organ that isn't working right. So it starts at this very, very, very small, like we talked about the mitochondria, and we talked about now the free radical molecules. So that's what's happening. So it's these unstable molecules that are trying to become stable, okay? And they, as I said, they become stable by grabbing onto something else, attaching to other cells, attaching to DNA, and damaging whatever it latches onto. Well, here we go. We actually have something that fights against that, and those are antioxidants. And they are awesome, okay? These are what stabilize those unstable oxygen molecules. And we don't really think about this. We think about nutrition, but I also want you to know that our body makes the strongest antioxidant called glutathione. And so glutathione is a natural antioxidant that our body makes, and it actually requires nutrition. It actually requires the nutrition or the phytochemicals that are in stinky vegetables like broccoli and cabbage and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts. It's required. So those are really required that we get those in at least 3 or 4 times a week, which we don't think of those. We think, I get my vegetables, I don't get my vegetables. But those are really required to create the strongest antioxidant in our body, which is glutathione. Then there are some antioxidants that occur naturally in foods, and those are mainly vitamin C, vitamin E, and selenium. We're going to talk about more about those in a little bit. So just really wanted to kind of let you wrap your head around free radicals. So as I said, they naturally occur, these unstable molecules, they naturally occur in our bodies, but also for people that smoke, those actually increase free radicals in their body. Having poor air pollution, that can actually also increase free radicals. So our environment can have an impact on the free radicals that are in our body as well. So any questions about that? You know, I get into the sciencey stuff. So everybody doing okay? All right, let's talk more about eye health. So the next thing we want to talk about is with the eye health is we want to talk about the omega-3 fats. So remembering that, I'm going to actually go, well, I want to say before I leave this slide that omega-3s, okay, you've heard of omega-3, we're going to talk about it a little bit more, but omega-3 is actually 60% of the lipid that lives in our eye. That's a part of the membrane of our eyes. So that's why it's really, I mean, these low-fat diets are just not doing us any favors. We actually have fat that is the structure of the membranes of our cells. So it's really important that we're getting enough. So I want to go to the next slide and talk about that a little bit more. So the two fats that are required by our bodies are omega-3s and omega-6s, okay? And the American diet, let me tell you, the good ratio, the healthy ratio is about 2 parts omega-6 to every 1 part omega-3. And the standard American diet is about 20 parts omega-6 to every 1 part omega-3. So we're getting too much omega-6, and that is causing lots of inflammation in our body. So we want to pull down omega-6, which is easy to do. Cut out corn oil and soybean oil. There, you just cut out, you just reduced your omega-6. And we want to do everything we can to push up our omega-3. Okay, so omega-3, and you can do supplements. Absolutely, you can do supplements. But omega-3s are the ones that are really anti-inflammatory to our diet. Those are the ones we need to push up and push the omega-6s down. And so when we talk about the omega-3, it's really, really important, especially the DHA type of omega-3, really important for our eye health. So also, we really need to be supplementing or getting really great food sources of omega-3 in your diet. Also, of course, increases eye function, increases mental focus, increases mood health, and lots of other anti-inflammatory properties in our body. So let's talk about food and omega-3. And so the food sources of omega-3 are mainly found in fatty fishes. And we call it this, we say the SMASH fish, which is just an acronym for the different kinds of healthy omega-3 filled fishes, and those are salmon, mackerel, anchovies, sardines, and herring. So salmon, mackerel, anchovies, sardines, and herring, we probably talked about this in the past. So figuring out ways to increase those in your diet. They can be canned or they can be fresh. I think we've talked about with the mackerel, that you actually can get canned mackerel now at Walmart. That's what I've been getting. It's a nice little fillet. It actually is kind of a milder flavor than salmon or tuna. So it's actually kind of a nice little thing to dump on your salad, or maybe have as part of your dinner. It works out great. The other great sources of omega-3 are anything time you get grass-fed beef, or any products that are from grass-fed animals. So that's going to be butter that's from a grass-fed cow, or milk that comes from grass-fed cows. Or if you know anybody that does deer hunting, venison is grass-fed. They eat grass out in the woods, so they are higher in omega-3. So that's a really great thing to do to kind of add to your diet as well. And you can get eggs that are higher in omega-3 as well. So search out those. And then I had that note there, to improve your ratios, you want to avoid soybean oil and corn oil. Questions about any of those? All right, fantastic. The other fish that we kind of think about that's high in omega-3 is tuna. And tuna is higher in omega-3, but the SMASH fish are higher in omega-3 and they're low in mercury. A lot of times those type of fish have a lot of mercury in them that can also be creating actually free radicals in our body. So we don't want to add too much mercury to our diet. But tuna doesn't make it on this list because tuna is a little higher in mercury. The thing about tuna is that it is actually a warm-blooded. It's actually a warm-blooded fish, if you can imagine that. So it has a very high metabolism, which means it requires a lot of food, which is meaning it's eating a lot of those tiny little fish that are high in mercury. So that's the bottom line of that. So that's what the problem is with tuna. That's why tuna doesn't make it on our SMASH fish list, in case you're wondering that. And you probably weren't. It's just one of those weird things that a dietitian thinks is interesting. So all right, so let's talk about vitamin A. This is where carrots are good for your eyes came in to play. So vitamin A is a fat-soluble vitamin, okay? And it's naturally found in lots and lots of food. You can actually hit your vitamin A requirements if you do 1 orange food a day. So if you do carrots, or you do sweet potatoes, or even that pumpkin pie that you might have had at Thanksgiving, those are all great sources of carotenoids that that vitamin A becomes, the phytochemicals, which is what makes those carrots and sweet potatoes orange. Those are carotenoids or beta carotene. Those can convert to vitamin A in our body. So that's why just getting those in your diet is such a great thing to do. One of the other nutrients that we're often hearing that is really good for eye health is lutein. And lutein is just one of those carotenoids. So anytime you're getting those kinds of orange or yellow vegetables or dark green vegetables, you're probably meeting your vitamin A needs pretty quickly. So make sure you're getting those in your diet every day. And I have the list. Actually, we do have pumpkin pie on our list. I don't know if you guys can see that. Pumpkin pie comes in fourth for giving you enough vitamin
Yes, we do
A.
see that, Donna. Thank you.
Did you ever think I was going to be telling you to eat pie in one of these?
Pumpkin and sweet potato, thank you.
Very good. Very good. So great nutrition comes in great packages. So that's always a good story. So, okay, so add vitamin A. And then vitamin C, we mentioned that earlier. Vitamin C is actually a water-soluble vitamin, but it's one of those great antioxidants. So you've got to get vitamin C. And vitamin C isn't too hard to get in if, again, you're doing some fruits and vegetables in your diet. So make sure you're doing that. So the role of vitamin C is an antioxidant, as I said, and it helps generate other antioxidants within the body. It's also great for immune function. So again, when we're trying to strengthen our immune system as much as we can, vitamin C is a great one to get. You know, and I can't tell you how many times people are asking me, you know, or they tell me, my clients say, well, I don't eat white potatoes. I only eat sweet potatoes. Well, that's great, but guess what? White potatoes are a great source of vitamin C. So if you eat, let's just say you have a small baked potato, you're already halfway there with your vitamin C for the day. So lots of great things. So of course, orange juices are good. I'd rather you do the orange than the juice. I always would rather you do the orange than the juice because juice tends to be really, really concentrated in sugar. So doing the whole fruit, doing the whole vegetables, that's really the best way to get your nutrients. And so here's some great sources, great examples of some vitamin C sources. So making sure you're getting those in is fantastic. So anything we can do to fight against that oxidation in our eye cells is going to be wonderful. All right, and then vitamin E. Vitamin E functions a lot like vitamin C, only vitamin E is a fat-soluble vitamin. So if you think about kind of part of our cells are fat and part of our cells are water, we need both. We need vitamin C and we need vitamin E to protect against oxidation for both of those kind of components in our body. So vitamin E, as I said, acts like an antioxidant and protects against that lipid that's in the eyes and that membrane, so we don't get damage in that area. So that's why it's so important to get the vitamin E in. It's also great for our immune system, and it's also great for our cardiovascular health. Really great for cardiovascular health. So lots of great things about vitamin E. So since vitamin E is a fat-soluble vitamin, you will only get it in foods that have fat, and you will only get it if you have fat in your diet. Okay, so that is really important to you can only absorb that vitamin E if you have fat in your diet. Again, another reason we are pro-fat at Bright Sky Nutrition. So we want you to get some fat in your diet. So you can look on here. So nuts are a great source, sunflower seeds, almonds. Sunflower oil and safflower oil are good sources. I wouldn't want you to do those all the time because they're also high in that omega-6, so we don't want you to get. So the nuts are a great source. Peanut butter is a great source. And then there is some in some of those darkly colored, really rich kind of vegetables. So those are a great source as well to get those vitamin E in your diet. Any questions about that, you guys? Okay. We're moving through pretty quickly, but you let me know if you have a question. So we always go back to, I like to give you just sort of a little bit of summary and a little bit of application. Like, what do you do with this information and what do I eat? So on the left-hand side, that's kind of a summary of all the nutrients that we talked about. That sulfur was in those stinky vegetables. The A, D, E, K, all of those are those antioxidant kinds of nutrients. the omega-3s, all of those kinds of things. So there's lots of things to get in, but you can really simplify it and just get to a whole foods diet. And then that way you're automatically getting it without having to count everything or taking a bunch of pills, that sort of thing. We really want you to get your food, your nutrients from food. So yeah, so I'm going to go further on the next slide, but thinking about multicolored fruits and vegetables, I want you to just for a second think about how many times a week you have a vegetable that's not a potato. So it's not French fries and it's not mashed potatoes, but how many times a week do you have a vegetable that's not a potato? And I'm going to let you guys just chat that to me. Let's have some conversation about that.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Sure. Just ask everybody how many times a week they have a vegetable that's not a potato. What would they say about that?
For me, it's all the time.
We're saying we've got a range here. We've got some are every day,
Okay.
Daily.
and then the lowest I think is twice a week.
Okay. So that's something
Right.
to pay attention to. And I think when we're putting our meals together, the vegetables are kind of the last thing we think of. So it's sort of like, and I have a lot of clients that are good about getting their meat and they're good about getting their rice or potato, but they're not always good about getting those vegetables in every meal. And now we know we need those every single day. So I wanted to mention that. And there is some recommendation to get up to 9 cups of these vegetables a day. So I'm not saying, I certainly don't get that many. I probably under that at 4 to 5 a day, but trying to think and maybe just make a goal for yourself, you know, maybe think about where you're at with your vegetables. And then if you're not doing it every day, maybe that's your first goal, trying to get some sort of vegetables in every day, at least 1 time a day. And then maybe make a goal for yourself as far as how many cups you might want to get in a day. So maybe you shoot for 2 cups a day. So a cup at lunch, a cup at dinner, something like that. And then maybe you gradually work to add just more volume to that. And that would be a great place to start. And the reason we say it's the multicolored, that's where the phytochemicals live. That's where the vitamins and minerals live, is in those in the colored chemicals of those vegetables. So that's really where we want to increase and bump those up. And then we talked about the stinky vegetables. So those are of course, the broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage. Getting those more and more of those in your diet is great. And that's where that sulfur comes in, or the sulforaphane, that makes that antioxidant that I told you about that we make naturally in our body. So if you don't get those nutrients in, the body has to prioritize what it's going to do. And of course, it prioritizes life, keeping your body going. And the things that don't get done are those extra things like making those great antioxidants. So make sure you're giving your body enough nutrition so it can maximize the function and keep you as healthy as you can be. I'm going to tell you a real quick story about getting those stinky vegetables in. So I have a husband who will only eat green beans, corn, potatoes, basically. Okay, so I've got one of those husbands that doesn't do all these great colorful vegetables. And as I'm learning more and more about glutathione and all these great antioxidants, I sat him down the other day, and this is only a thing a dietitian would say to her husband. I said, you know, Rick, I really need you to figure out which cruciferous vegetable you're going to eat. And of course, he looked at me with a blank stare, of course. So I said, I need you to figure it out. I said, so those are broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, kale. I said, you need to figure it out. So that kind of went by the wayside. But anyway, so together, he and I, we were in the kitchen and we made, or actually I made, but he was with me. I bought some shredded cabbage. So I just bought cabbage already shredded, so super easy. And I bought some kale that was a big lettuce, big kale leaves. and I put my kale in my food processor and just got it a little chopped up. And then we put both of those together, and that became our salad mix. So now that's our salad base for any time we're having a salad. And so the next day, I was working from home. He works from home. He brought a bowl into where I was working, and he had put in that salad mix, and he had added chopped apples to it, and some toasted pecans we had, and some craisins, and cheese and ham. And I mean, he had doctored this like crazy. And then we have a sugar-free salad dressing we like, and I can give you that brand that we love. It's a very clean sugar-free salad dressing, and he likes sweet dressings. He had put all of that on top of his salad. He took the first bite and he said, "This has so much flavor in it." And so he was hooked. So just kind of think about what you need to do to get your body, to get yourselves to eat those cruciferous vegetables and all those stinky vegetables, because they really are that important and they do such amazing things in our body. So anyway, that's just a side note. And then just choosing quality meat, making sure you're getting enough protein. I do recommend 3 ounces of protein breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if you can do the grass-fed, great. If you can't do the grass-fed, even not getting the grass-fed, if you're doing eggs and you're doing whole milk and you're doing beef, that has a little bit of omega-3. So you're going to get some omega-3 even if you don't do the grass-fed versions of it. So that's the really good news too. So then I like to give you guys, there we go. So I'm sure you guys have seen this slide before.
We have one question. Is there a vitamin that you can take to help with that?
Do you mean, no, okay, so not doing the cruciferous vegetables, whoops.
Is that what you mean as far as the vegetables?
No, just adding a vitamin to it. You know, like a multivitamin.
Like a multivitamin, or just adding something to it. What would be the best?
Like I said, you absolutely could do a multivitamin. Now, thinking about all the nutrition we need, sorry about that, guys. I'll just leave like that for now. What's going on? But if you're gonna do a multivitamin, that's great. If you're going to supplement a specific vitamin, I would probably do vitamin E, definitely vitamin D. We don't talk about vitamin D here, but for immune system, I would definitely want you to do vitamin D, and probably an omega-3 supplement. So if you're going to do supplements, those would be the top ones, I would say. Try and get those in. Those would be great.
Did everybody get that?
Yeah, and with the sulfur, with that phytochemical that's in those stinky vegetables, it's sulforaphane, and I believe they do have supplements of sulforaphane. So you can get it without eating the food if you wanted to just do like a supplement pill. But there's so many other phytochemicals in vegetables that we don't even know yet, like all the different ones and all the different great things that they do. So that's why we really want people to get their nutrition more from food, so they're getting all those things naturally that we haven't even figured out yet. So that's what I would encourage you to do. Does that help a little bit?
To help you? Yep.
A little bit. Okay. So how do you just put it all together? Looking at this little diagram that we have here, I'm going to try and share that screen one more time. So if you think about, again, trying to get lots of those vegetables in, if you could and you don't, without measuring, I don't believe in measuring, I just really want you to put your plate together in the right way. Half of your plate should be those colorful vegetables that we talked about. And then a fourth of your plate should be that protein with those great omega-3s, the beef or whatever that we talked about. Eggs are great. Those will all have some good source of omega-3. And then your your carbs section can be that starchy vegetable, that sweet potato or the white potato, or it could be fruit. Fruit has great fiber and great vitamin C. So there's how you just balance your plate. And then some great healthy fat that I want you to add to your plate would be like thinking olive oil or avocado oil, or even, let's see, those would be probably the best ones, my top ones that I would choose. Butter's also a good one. Butter has not as much omega-3. Well, it's got the omega-3, so butter somewhere on your plate would be great. Butter all over that broccoli, for example. And bacon fat, believe it or not, has some great monounsaturated fat, which is just like the fat that's in olive oil. So anytime you're getting the natural fat somewhere on your plate, you are adding nutrition. So all of this is basic whole food that you get around the perimeter of your grocery store, food that was made in nature, food that was created for us, perfectly created for our bodies. So putting all that together, that's really, really the best way to eat and put it all together. So, you know, good nutrition is good nutrition, whether we're looking at the eyes or the heart health or your blood sugar or brain health, it's all the same. You know, we're not made in a vacuum. We're made as a complete, integrated, complicated organism that requires all this great nutrition, and it's the same thing for all the parts of our body. So just encouraging you to continue to get that whole foods nutrition, keep adding it in and bumping up those specific nutrients that are great for your brain health. It slows down aging, fuels you and giving you the energy, and every cell in your body then can function to its maximum potential. So let me know what other questions you guys have today.
Can you tell us the sugar-free dressing you mentioned?
Yes, sorry about that. Yes, there's a brand and it's capital G period Hughes, Hughes, and it's got a man's picture on the label. And all of the stuff that he makes is made with Splenda. So it still has that sweet flavor. And all the ingredients are really good. All the ingredients are short ingredients labels, and they're all natural things. So we've got the one that we have that we really like at our house is the raspberry salad dressing. It is fantastic.
Where can you get this?
We get it at Walmart. So,
okay, Walmart.
Yeah, so I only shop at Walmart and Sam's Club because I want to shop where everybody has access to it and everybody can pretty much afford it. So it's a great product. They also make a delicious barbecue sauce. So if you really like to do barbecue and you like to put sauce on like a pork chop or a hamburger or something, he has delicious barbecue sauces that are sugar-free. Barbecue sauce, regular barbecue sauce has so much sugar in it. It's like a tablespoon of sugar in 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce. It's crazy how much sugar is in it. So if you can go to these barbecue sauces, my favorite is he has a sweet and spicy barbecue sauce, and I look for reasons to have it because I love it so much. So, and then he's got other sauces, kinds of things like if you like some Asian kinds of like teriyaki sauces or orange chili sauces, ginger chili, I don't know, all kinds of different sauces to put on your meat or marinate things. So does a really, really nice job, and they're all delicious and, you know, priced right. They're not going to be in that $5 to $6. They're more like a $2 to $3 kind of price range. So with that product, I'm loving that I found it. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I need to be his spokesperson. I love him. So yeah. But all right, guys, that's kind of all I had for today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, you're
Thanks.
welcome.
Great class.
Oh, thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. And Donna, will you be able to send Bridgette the presentation?
I did.
Yep,
I sent it right before this. Sorry about that. I got it out late. Yep.
No, wonderful, thank you.
Okay, great. Merry Christmas, you guys.
Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Stay
Merry
safe.
Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
All right, stay safe, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
And I'll get those presentations out to you.
Thank
All right, thank you,
you.
Bridgette.
Thank you so much, Donna. We appreciate it. Thank your student too. Thank you.
Bye, Merry Christmas.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And Donna, once we get this recording up and ready, I'll send you the link to it.
Thank you.
So you can have that.
Oh, I appreciate that. That's perfect, Bridget. Thank you. You're wonderful.
You're welcome. Okay.
Bye-bye.